healthy and the scale still doesn't budge, there's a common trap falling into when you eat healthy. And we're going to talk about it now. Hey everyone, it's me, Chris from Body Nova Fitness Coaching. And today we're going to talk about why eating healthy isn't working for your weight loss and how you need to fix it. So with a lot of things, weight loss is usually associated with eating bad foods that are high in calories, bad foods that have a lot of empty calories and nutrients that aren't necessarily good for our health. And weight loss has been associated with good foods, good healthy foods that provide a lot of nutrients and are great for our health. But healthy and weight loss and lean, being lean, being fit, they don't always coincide. Let's talk about why. First of all, the most important thing that I think the healthy crowd, eat everything healthy and you will lose weight crowd gets wrong is no matter how healthy you eat, calories in versus calories out is going to still remain true. Okay, so basically, if you eat 3,000 calories a day and you only burn 2,000 calories a day, your body has to do something with those extra calories. Healthy trap number one, and I do this a whole lot with people trying to get rid of bad fat, which I don't really believe there's a such thing as bad fats, because even with saturated fat, okay, trans fats are bad fats. Okay, you don't want any trans fats in your diet. But outside of trans fats, a lot of people try to get away from fats. Well, saturated fats have cholesterol. Cholesterol is used to make your testosterone. So for that reason, I don't necessarily believe in good and bad, because there's things in good fats that are useful and things in bad fats that are useful, and you just need to balance them out. And so you can have all the avocado, all the fish oil, all the different nuts. And so understand that. And as you understand, what you'll want to do is you still want to make sure and track your calories. The calories is going to take care of everything. If you don't eat too many calories, it'll be harder to gain weight. If you get into a calorie deficit, which again, a calorie deficit is burning more calories than you take in, or more calories than you eat, so that you can facilitate weight loss. You'll stay in a good place. Smoothies. Now, smoothies may have all the great fruits. They might have all the high calorie. They may have a lot of healthy fruits and a lot of healthy additives, but still, a calorie is a calorie. Sometimes in smoothies, they add something called smoothie mix, which also has calories. So a lot of people aren't aware of that. It gives it the great taste. It makes it easy for you to come back for more and more and more, but you have to respect your calories. So if you're going to do smoothies and stuff like that, you have to find out the calories. Don't use them to erase your calorie deficit. So make sure you know, or be mindful of what's in your smoothie. Ask if they have smoothie mix. Ask how much portions of different foods and things like that they throw in your smoothies, so that you can be aware and plan accordingly as you incorporate them in your nutrition program. Clean carbs, whole grains, potatoes, sweet potato, all things like that. And again, these all have a calorie. These all have a calorie count. They're very healthy foods, but your portion sizes still matter. So again, you want to keep track of that. That's why I'm big on tracking. If you're not tracking, you're not going to know when you're not losing weight. You're not going to know what the problem really is. Fix the problem until you start tracking. Then you say, "Oh, geez, okay, that portion of sweet mashed potatoes, I had 2 cups of it because it tastes so great. Well, that gave me more than 100 grams of carbs just at that one sitting. So maybe I only need to eat 1 cup." So it doesn't matter if the carbs are clean carbs or dirty carbs. You still have to respect your calories. Measure your portions, but then also at the same time, to help keep yourselves full, don't just have those clean carbs alone. Have your clean carbs at a meal with some sources of protein and some sources of fat. There's also some factors that don't have as much to do with calories. If they lack protein, if they lack fiber, okay, you're going to have trouble, one, controlling your blood sugar, controlling the rate in which they empty into your system. So if you have trouble controlling your blood sugar, you're much likelier to snack, eat more to eating. So make sure, again, like I just mentioned earlier, you include protein with every meal, okay? Because even though you're eating all good healthy foods, with a lot of people, a lot of exercise people, a lot of people who are trying to build muscle and build or at least preserve muscle while dropping body fat or reducing their weight, If you undereat on protein, you're not preserving your muscle. If you lose your muscle, remember, 70% of your basal metabolic rate, the amount of calories that you burn just resting, okay, is controlled by how much muscle you have, your lean body mass. So if you don't eat enough protein to preserve your muscle goes down. You burn less calories, which again makes it harder for you to lose weight. Another one is underestimating meals that you get from restaurants, because sometimes you think that just on the surface, like eating grilled chicken, for example, is healthy and maybe low fat, and then you'll find out that they're doing something to the chicken that adds fat to it, the way they're preparing the chicken, adds fat to it, the way they're making the steak, adds fat to it, and it's adding unnecessary calories, even though the food is basically a healthy food. The foods could be in sauces and things like that control that. So one of the things you may have to do if you're aware of this and you are afraid that, or you want control of that portion size of that sauce or that dressing or whatever it is to have them put that on the side so that you can put on what you need to put on there. Or, you have your meals prepared in different ways that are healthier. You opt for meals that are made in a healthier way. A lot of restaurants will post their nutrition info online, or at least the size of their portions, so that you can look them up. So that might be something you need to do if you frequent certain restaurants a lot. I do that. Again, anybody knows me knows I eat at El Pollo Loco, and I've had to look at their portion sizes, or the portion sizes and of other things in there, because again, the chicken had, or according to their numbers, their chicken is fattier. You would think it is, even though it's grilled. That's something that you want to be aware of if you're going to frequent the restaurant. So I just frequent the restaurants that I know the macros for. I know the for El Pollo Loco, so I know exactly what I can have. And some of them even have where you can assemble your meal, like Chipotle. They have it where you can assemble your meal, and it'll tell you what the macros are on that meal. So, Chick-fil-A, I believe it has too, because I had to do that for a client. So Chick-fil-A has that also. So you may want to play with that and pre-plan before you go, or pre-plan before you eat, so you can get meals that fit your nutrition program or that align with your goals. Okay, poor sleeping habits. This affects everything across the board, but with being healthy, eating healthy, and appetite, sleep could affect that calories in, calories out deal there. Okay, and also sleep can affect what you crave, because it turns up hormones that encourage eating or encourage appetite, turns down hormones that say, okay, I'm full, I've had enough, that control satiation or your satiety. It also controls your blood sugar levels. So your blood sugar can get out of control a little bit more when you have poor sleeping habits, among other things. It also turns up your stress hormones. Your cortisol levels and things like that are high. Harder to get what you're supposed to get for your programs. You're more likely to have those hormones get out of control. It could also alter your calorie burning because you're in stress states. You want to get your sleep under control. You're going to need to fix your sleep and have your sleep under control, and that may make it easier for you to stay on your nutrition program. Also, you want to your stress management. Sometimes some of us, we don't know how to relax, and because we don't know how to relax, it's harder for us to sleep. So again, I'm a guided breathing person, a guided meditation, and things like that. Just taking 3 minutes out during your day, do a stressful part of your day. You sit there and learn to breathe and be in the moment, and try to calm everything down. Headspace and Calm are great apps for that. There are quite a few more. There's also one that lets you try it for a year for free. I can't remember what the name of it is. Actually, some of our watches and phones, they have guided meditation apps, and it's just as simple as watching something grow bigger and smaller, and you're just inhaling and exhaling with the count of that. So stress and sleep are always going to play a big role, and the more you get that under control, the easier it's going to be to stick with your program, and the easier it's going to be to get what you're supposed to get from your program. Because high stress levels, high cortisol levels also affect your ability to recover from a workout. So here's a way you can put all this information, put what I told you earlier into an actionable plan that'll help you get control and get back on track. Because again, if you don't respect calories, it may get in the way of your weight loss. Either by eating too little or eating too little of certain things, not eating enough of other things. Once you've got your calories and your macros planned out, which you should have if you're trying to get weight loss, you should know how your target for calories and macros. I talk to people as they ask questions, why aren't I losing weight? What's the problem? They can't tell me where they're at or what their goal is. So that's a big problem. So get your calories and macros, start figure it out. And once you do so, you're going to need to get a food scale and measuring cup. So because you're going to need to measure the portions or quantify the portions that you are eating. So once you quantify the portions, then you're going to have an amount of calories and amount for your macros. So you're understanding how to fill your macros. Okay, because remember how I said macros make you look good, even though calories drive the result. Calories drive the result, macros make you look good. So for example, protein, you will make sure you get enough protein. And you want to also make sure you get enough fat because, again, your body synthesizes hormones from the testosterone in saturated fats, the unsaturated fats like fish oil and things like that. The omega-3s, they also have a large role in our health. So that can help your cause. Once you start tracking, you start to understand the portion size and the calorie density of foods. You're going to learn that, even though you get good protein from egg, if you leave all the yolks in, they add up fat very quickly, which also adds up in calories. Even though there's good things in the yolk, those fats add up. The fats add up in nuts very quickly. Certain foods are very calorically dense. That means a very small portion can provide a large amount of calories. Prioritize protein and fiber. Have that with every meal. Again, this is going to help you control blood sugar levels and then also help you control satiation and, control your hunger and your appetite. And so, as well as the healthy foods, make sure you have protein and fiber at that meal. Portion control is everything, because if you don't know how much you're eating or how little you're eating, you don't know how to fix the problems when you're not getting results. Okay, so you want to make sure, start getting that food, measuring and tracking your foods. And then once you start measuring and tracking your foods, you can figure out what portions will work for you as far as achieving your goals. I usually will, on a very simplistic level, figure out how many times I'm going to eat. This person's going to eat 4 meals a day. They have 200 grams of protein and let's say 200 grams of carbs and 80 grams of fat. Okay, so that means each meal is going to have roughly 50 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of fat, give or take. And then you can make your adjustments from there and then control the portion sizes of your foods so that you can get, you make sure you can get those amounts or very relatively close. Just be patient and be consistent. A lot of the things I do with this, I like to have people weigh in on the same day at the same time. I usually do it weekly. Some people, it'll mess them up mentally because they think that's a bad thing. It's like, no, it's an opportunity for you to figure out what's working and what's not working, and without going long amounts of time to fix it. If you only weigh once a month, you can be doing all this stuff wrong for a month, and then you have to wait another month to see if it's fixed, okay? No, you jump on it weekly. It could be Saturday morning after your workout. It could be, Monday morning when you first get out of bed, but whatever it is, try to make it the same day, the same time, in the same state. Some people will try to take body fat and weigh in after a workout and then try to do it before a workout the next time, and then they'll stress themselves out because they didn't lose weight. It's like, well, you weren't the same. It wasn't the same state. You want to be in the same state so you can get accurate information. Okay, hopefully some of these tips, you'll find these tips helpful for you. If you're even trying to cram in all the healthy foods in your nutrition program and you're still not losing weight, hopefully these tips will help you get on the right track, as well as making sure you respect that calories in, calories out thing. If you need help with this, you can contact me. I personalize nutrition programs, and I can help coach you through your nutrition program and things like that, or set up your nutrition program. I do write meal plans. I typically don't like writing them because people won't do the simple steps like, okay, choose your foods. Nope, they don't want me to. They don't want to choose the foods off the food list. They just want me to just pick it random, and then they get upset because you're choosing. So I have programs, and then I also have a few courses and subscription services that can also help you with this, help you design portion sizes around your nutrition program that will fit your goals. If you have any questions, please email me, drop me a message, or just comment below. I'll try my best to help you.